Every single time I have time to make a video, it always comes at Liverpool's expense. The last two videos I posted came when Liverpool dropped points and looked like they were about to let the league slip. This time around, I'm making a video when they're out of the Champions League, and that too at Anfield. And as good as Arne Slot has been this whole season, this loss was all on him. Can you really blame him when Liverpool's top looked like Mo Salah's before he went to Turkey? Nah, honestly, you've got Mo Salah being the artistic creator, aka Shakespeare, and then you've got Diego Jota and Luis Diaz, Romeo and Juliet, dropping tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. On one hand, you've got Luis Diaz, who every single time he receives the ball takes more touches than Diddy and his baby oil in his mansion. By the time the Colombian Beyblade has decided what to do with the ball, Bonnie Blue has already caught 100 bodies. And as far as their brother in the middle, Diego Jota, goes, he was looking weak as piss out there. Every single time he'd even breathe, the PSG defenders would grab him by the esophagus and chokeslam him onto the ground like Prime Undertaker. This brother spends most of his time playing FIFA or in the medical room, and when, by the grace of God, he decides to bless us with his presence, he drops stinker after stinker like a skunk. And let's talk about the defending for the goal Liverpool conceded. Ibrahim Konate, Virgil van Dijk, and Alisson Becker had as much defending chemistry as Walter White if he tried cooking meth as a biology teacher. And let me just bring it back to Arne Slot for just 1 second. Surely he doesn't actually believe Andrew Robertson is good enough, right? Surely he's only playing him because Andrew Robertson has his nudes and he keeps on threatening Slot that he's going to leak them if he doesn't play them. Surely it must be. But, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, PSG eliminated Liverpool from the Champions League. Let's begin. Okay, so before I dive into the Liverpool performance and how I felt leading up to the game and just the game itself, even the first leg, I just want to give full credit to PSG. They 100% deserve to go through to the next round, and to be honest, they could even win it. I think they're the best team in the Champions League, even especially after watching Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid today. That game was very, very boring, and there was no standout team in that. It was pretty even throughout both the legs. But PSG just looked like a completely different beast to me. Even in my opinion, they look better than Barcelona as well, because I think, to me, Barcelona are still too vulnerable with the high line that they play. But as far as PSG goes, I'm going to give credit where it's due. And I'm not going to be like Arsenal fans and keep on coping and sniffing that copium for the rest of my life. And just admit that, you know what, over 2 legs they were better than us. That's just the way it goes. And when a team better than you goes through to the next round, it doesn't really hurt. Obviously, it hurts because you're eliminated from the Champions League. But overall, PSG deserve to go through. And yup. As far as Arsenal fans go, because unfortunately there are way too many of them on Twitter, and I have to use plural when I say Arsenal fans instead of Arsenal fan. These guys have been coping about the league the whole season, and even after Liverpool were eliminated, they kept on going and slandering Liverpool, tweet after tweet after tweet, and honestly it was boiling my blood. So all I'm going to say is this: Arsenal fans, when Real Madrid put you in your place, when you feel the wrath of European royalty, because you guys definitely are not European royalty. You're not even Europa League royalty. Forget about UEFA Champions League royalty. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm sick and tired of these Arsenal fans coping about the league. Just admit that Liverpool were better than you, regardless of the injuries and the whole PGMOL thing. Like, keep coping about that. You know what I'm trying to say? Keep on telling yourself that, yeah, PGMOL is a reason why Liverpool are winning the league, and you know what, maybe it'll make you sleep better at night. But I digress, ladies and gentlemen. Back to PSG. Bro, PSG have been absolutely insane. For the first leg, Liverpool were lucky to even win that game, but to be honest, even as a neutral fan, even as a Liverpool hater, which there were way too many of them, you expect Liverpool to see the game out once they come to Anfield. But PSG, I think, have been the most well-rounded team since probably Pep City, I'm not going to lie. Their defense looks absolutely solid. Their midfield, Vitinha, Neves, even Fabian Ruiz, I think his name is. Even they've been absolutely insane. And then the front three, bro, the Kvara deal has absolutely changed everything for PSG. Dembele has obviously been on one. He's literally been on Ballon d'Or form this season. And then obviously Barcola as well. That front three is just absolutely lethal. There's absolutely no chance you survive if you get hit on the counter, and that's what PSG were basically doing here at Anfield today, because Liverpool kept on pressing and pressing and pressing, but PSG, man, they just had a one attack in that first half. Or, I mean, obviously they had more than one attack, but that one attack, they just, broke through with one pass. Dembele, Barcola, sorry, and then Kvaratskhelia. Absolutely insane. Absolutely killer front three. Honestly, it reminds me a little bit of Mane, Salah, and Firmino from back in the day. And speaking of them, I would do absolutely disgusting things to have them back. And ladies and gentlemen, it's Ramadan, so you already know I'm telling the truth. You know what I'm trying to say? But yeah, PSG, the most well-rounded team in the world, I think, right now. And I think their time was bound to come eventually. They've been through a lot of shit in the Champions League. Obviously, the League One Uber Eats is what it is. It's a pretty piss poor league, and every season, same shit happens. But in the Champions League, they always somehow manage to bottle it. But this time around, I feel like obviously they're deserved winners 100%. I'm not going to come here and make excuses like I said before. But just in general, they're a very, very well-rounded team from defense to attack. Donnarumma, in my opinion, is a bit of a weak link, but obviously in the penalty shootout, you always back him, especially after witnessing his performance for Italy in the Euros from a few years back. And I will always respect him for that, because he stopped it from coming home and making us feel the wrath of English fans. So Donnarumma, thank you for that forever until the day I die. But for some reason and somehow he showed up at Anfield, and that's just the way it goes. He pulled up an Alisson from the first leg. I mean, obviously that first leg Alisson performance was absolutely generational, and it was not better than that, but it was still really, really good performance. And to me, and for me, I think he was man of the match for PSG, especially after the penalty shootout. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about PSG, to be honest. Dembele has been on one. Kvaradona, obviously insane. Barcola, that the teenage midfielder slash winger that came on in extra time, he caused absolutely havoc on Liverpool. He's an absolute baller. He's going straight to the top. And yeah, PSG, great performance. Honestly, I hope you guys win. Even though Hakimi was a little bit cringe with him putting the flag in the middle of the pitch at Anfield and this and that. Like, I just think all these antics and things like that are cringe. Even from Real Madrid today, Vinny Jr. honestly is the most hittable player in the world right now, in my opinion. He's absolutely unbearable. Like, he has a really punchable face that you just want to break every time he comes onto your screen. You know what I'm trying to say? But yeah, and now I'm going to talk about Liverpool, the moment which most people will be waiting for. And to be honest, this whole performance was on Arne Slot. From the starting lineup to the moment the game ended, it was all on Arne Slot. And it really hurts me to say this, because to be honest, he's literally been flawless the whole season. Every single change he's made at halftime and this and that has paid off. But today, nothing paid off. His starting lineup didn't pay off. His subs were absolutely horrible. As you saw in the penalty shootout, everything was just a big mess by Slot, to be honest. And again, it pains me to say this, but again, like, it's his first season and it's totally understandable. It's a learning curve for him too, and I think he came out and said it in the press conference as well, that it's a learning curve for him, because it's literally his first season managing such a big club and at such high stakes. And obviously he's bound to make some mistakes eventually. In the league, he's pretty much been flawless, and yeah, I mean, it's forgivable, of course, but it obviously hurts going out in the Champions League. And you know what the crazy part is about this whole Champions League stint by Liverpool, especially today's performance? This match was played on March 11, 2025, right? And the last hate watch that every single fan enjoyed, even till this day, was Atletico Madrid. And that fell on March 11, 2020. And funnily enough, this is Andrew Robertson's birthday. And he dropped an absolute stinker today. And you know what the crazy thing is? People are saying, "Oh, Andrew Robertson ran it back. He ran it back." Bro, he didn't. He didn't run back shit. He just ran it back to his performances from this whole season, and which were absolutely diabolical. Like, yeah, you know what? Now and then he brought the ball forward and made some good runs, but bro, his crossing. Oh my days. His crossing was absolutely shocking. It was like every single time he crossed the ball, it made me cringe because he either overhit it or it hit PSG's defenders or this or that. It was one or the other. But in general, he's always out of position. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. He's always like brainless, just pressing randomly everywhere. It just makes no sense. But anyway, I digress as usual. Back to Arne Slot. To be honest, the game, in my opinion, was already lost when I saw Diego Jota starting. Now, here's the thing, right? Darwin Núñez is not a good player. And this is me putting it lightly, right? The funny thing is, he has all the attributes to be a really, really great player, but it's up here, which he severely lacks. The footballing IQ is just not there. It's like his body is doing one thing and his brain is telling him to do something else. You know what I'm trying to say? I saw a really funny tweet and it was something like, if you put Núñez's brain in a dog, it would start mooing. And honestly, it's literally like bullseye. You know what I'm trying to say? Absolutely pitch perfect tweet. But yeah, to be honest, the biggest difference between Darwin Núñez and Jota is that Núñez just brings in that physicality, it brings in that element of uncertainty that he did bring on when he came on as a substitute, because before that, the PSG back two were very, very comfortable against Diego Jota because Jota is not physical at all. And obviously, the whole injury thing that he's been going through ever since his Liverpool career started has halted him physically, and it showed against PSG. He's just not the player that he used to be. He's just a finisher in the box, and he can't even get into those good positions anymore because he's always making errors. I don't know. He's always in that false nine position. He's just all over the place, to be honest. Physically, he's absolutely finished. He's turned into dust. And Darwin Núñez, in my opinion, should have started because in the first half, Liverpool kept on crossing the ball, kept on crossing, and there was just nobody there because Jota is just not tall enough. Obviously, he's really good in the air and this and that, but in the Champions League European game is just not good enough. It's just not. You need physicality. You need that chaos that Núñez brings, that as cringe as it sounds, but you need that chaos that he has and that he brings. And when I saw Núñez on the bench, I was like, yeah, you know what? This game is done. It's absolutely finished. Liverpool are now winning. And the game starts, and leading up to it, it was the same day as the game at Liverpool played Atletico at Anfield at 5 years ago. Oh, and by the way, Marcus Llorente, hold that penalty miss. Hold it. Go name your freaking dog Anfield now. Go on. I dare you. Freaking hell. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Honestly, just going into the game, the vibes were off, at least for me. Like, obviously, I was up for it. I was at Anfield, and when games are at Anfield, you're always up for it. But it just wasn't a good vibe because it was on exactly the same day as Atletico Madrid from 5 years ago. And you know what the funny thing is? This game was a carbon copy of that game. Liverpool dominated for the first 15 minutes. Mo Salah, I don't want to say missed the chance because Nuno Mendes deflected the ball and it went over the goalpost. But to be honest, for me, Salah has to be finishing that far post, or he can just shoot it straight at the middle and it goes in. And it's 2-1. And to be honest, in my opinion, at that point, the tie is pretty much over. And then even after that, Mo Salah had another chance where the ball deflected off of a defender. He went on this little bit of a dribbly run and he missed the shot. It went wide. And to be honest, I'm not going to lie. After that, you can just feel it. With Liverpool, you can just feel it in the first like 20, 30 minutes when it's just not your night. It's not going to be your night. And that's just the way it turned out to be. And the first 15 minutes, Liverpool dominated. And then against a run of play, as I said before, PSG's attack is just absolutely lethal. One attack and they're away. And that's what happened. They scored a goal. And that defending was absolutely shocking. When you have a 1-0 deficit up against a team like PSG, you cannot afford to concede such sloppy goals. It was a nothing through ball, and it gets crossed in. Konate, Van Dijk, and Alisson are all over the place. Konate slide tackles, goes near the goal, and Dembele taps in. It's 1-1, and at that point the pressure is on Liverpool at Anfield because first of all now you're losing the game and now you're trying to chase a game against this PSG side, which is a very very daunting task as it proved out to be. And yeah, after that, PSG grew into the game. They had a few other chances, and Allison once again coming up clutch for Liverpool. And without Allison, the tie would have been done in the first leg. So you know what? It is what it is. But then after the first half ends, and things are still looking positive for Liverpool because it's still 1-1 and it's at Anfield. The crowd was pretty good. I know I saw some tweets that the crowd was really bad and this and that, but I disagree. And then in the second half is when Liverpool really, really turned the heat up. They really, really turned it up on PSG. And honestly, if it wasn't for Diego Jota passing the ball a little bit earlier to Luis Diaz, again, the game is 2-1 for Dominic Szoboszlai scoring that tap in. And the tie is pretty much done because now PSG are chasing. And Liverpool, defensively, when they have to defend, they've been pretty decent, to be honest, this whole season. But honestly, I just want to say one thing, right? Them 20 minutes where Liverpool were absolutely dominating, Trent Alexander-Arnold. You know what the thing is with Trent, for me personally? Obviously, the whole Madrid thing, I haven't really been singing his praises, but I'm not going to lie. Trent Alexander-Arnold's performance for those 20 minutes before he unfortunately came off injured, which was another factor where I thought, yeah, it's just not happening because you just feel that it's not your day. But then for them 20 minutes, it literally felt like Trent Alexander-Arnold reincarnated into, no, wait, I'm saying this other way around. It felt as if Steven Gerrard reincarnated into Trent Alexander-Arnold's body because, bro, I urge everybody to rewatch that performance by Trent in those 20 minutes. He was absolutely everywhere. And for that offside goal that Liverpool scored, oh my days, he was a man on a mission, bro. I couldn't believe it. He wanted that so bad. He wanted that game so bad. He wanted this Champions League so bad. And you can see that he was literally crying when he got injured, when he made that tackle. And yeah, honestly, Trent Alexander-Arnold across both legs defensively, he was absolutely unreal. That too against Kvaradona. And when Trent has a good game, he has a good game when everybody's quiet and nobody's freaking slating him and shitting on him for his defensive performances. You know what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, honestly, in those 20 minutes, Liverpool should have won it. They hit the post, and then even after that, Kwanzaa comes on for Trent. Kroos comes into him, open header. He hits the post. The ball goes across the line after hitting the post, and that's it. There were so many factors in the game where you thought that, you know what, yeah, it's just not happening for Liverpool. But then Arne Slot decides to take off Szoboszlai and McAllister. For what? I mean, yeah, they were tired, but in my opinion, you just keep them on until penalties because, bro, what was Liverpool thinking and what was Arne Slot thinking giving penalties to Darwin Núñez and Diego Jota? Sorry, not Diego Jota, Curtis Jones. What was he thinking? Seriously. You had Harvey Elliott that takes really good penalties. You got Virgil van Dijk, who's experienced in taking penalties in crunch situations. Instead, you go for Darwin Núñez and Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones, I think he just took responsibility as a scouser and all that, but nah, man, you can't be doing that against Donnarumma too. It made absolutely no sense because Szoboszlai never misses a pen, McAllister never misses a pen, and if them two people stay on, it's probably looking a little bit different. Also, Alisson for that penalty shootout. To be honest, Alisson has never been good at penalties, so wasn't really surprised. Kelleher is way better than him at penalties, and you know what? If Saul was absolutely a crazy human being, he would sub off Alisson for Kelleher, but that's just not doable because of how physically exhausting the game was. And you know what the crazy thing is? This game reminded me a little bit of Liverpool versus City in that 18-19 season. It was very, very high quality. And Slot even said after the full-time whistle was blown in his interview that, you know what, this was the highest quality game he's ever played. And honestly, I agree. There were so many instances where it felt like, yeah, you know what, this is as good as it gets on a football pitch. It was literally shades of Man City versus Liverpool in 18-19. It was absolutely crazy. Just absolute great players all around. And from both sides, to be honest, and just really, really high quality football. But yeah, the penalty shootout comes along, and that's just the way it goes. And the crazy thing is, PSG could have won it in extra time as well, but obviously, Doué missed a few chances, and there was a header that went slightly wide, and it looked as if PSG were going to win it in extra time because at that point Liverpool's legs were absolutely gone. Everybody was exhausted. Konate also came off, and then at that point, like, Konate is absolutely crucial to Liverpool's attacking threat because he's just so solid at the back, and he's just instrumental in bringing the ball out when Liverpool are getting pressed and this and that. So in that sense, it was a little bit tough because yeah, Konate and Kwanzaa Kwanzaa was on and Konate had to come off, and then Endo was playing center back, and you know what? That just shows the squad depth that Liverpool have. Gomez is injured, Bradley is injured, and at that point, there's nothing really you can do. But yeah, it was a really difficult loss to take. But to be honest, the thing is, in this moment in time, as a full 11, PSG are way better than Liverpool because Liverpool have glaring weaknesses, and in a way, it's a good thing that Liverpool lost this game and PSG outplayed us because it shows the glaring weaknesses in this Liverpool squad. They need a new left back, and they've been linked to Kirkez from Bournemouth, who's absolutely insane, and I can't wait to see if they get him or not because they are linked to him. And if they get him, that's an absolute crazy signing. They obviously need a new left winger because Diaz is not it. Diaz and Jota, oh my days, man. Diaz just takes so much time to get the shot off and get the pass off. Like, he barely has any assists this season. He scored a few goals in September, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm not falling for this shit, bro. Like, I'm really not. And honestly, I've been done with Diaz ever since he missed those 2 one-on-ones against City last season in the title run-in. Ever since that day, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm done with this guy. Like, I need him gone, bro. Literally, I need him freaking sold. And I can't wait till he's replaced. Gakpo came on and he's not fully fit. He wasn't challenging. He wasn't making any runs. And honestly, I would have even backed him to take a penalty over Jones and Darwin Núñez. But, it is what it is. It was a really, really tough loss to take. But yeah, I look forward to seeing how Liverpool do in the transfer window in the summer because it's a huge transfer window. And they still have the EFL Cup final coming up this Sunday. And let's see how that goes without Trent and maybe without Konate. We'll see how that goes. I still back Liverpool to win that, but you never know. And yeah, this game was a rerun of Atletico Madrid 2020. And you know what, bro? All these rival fans, even in all of my group chats, just piping up, being gassed. That's when you know Liverpool are the one now. They were just waiting. Liverpool haven't lost any significant games this season, and the one time they do, everybody was just waiting for it. And Arsenal fans, you best believe when Real Madrid put you in your place, I will be there at your funeral smoking your ashes. I will be there. You best believe it because that's exactly what's going to happen. If not in the quarterfinal, then in the semifinal. If somehow, some way you make it, even though you won, because you could play out of your skin. In Real Madrid, they've made a lifetime deal with the devil. And let me tell you this, you are not beating Real Madrid no matter what. I mean, Atletico Madrid couldn't be Real Madrid in the penalty shootout. They got a goal disallowed for a double hit by Alvarez. You just can't write it, man. This team's freaking black magic in the Champions League is just different. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, Real fans, every single fan that was happy, Barca fans, United fans. I mean, United fans I don't really care about because them guys are just shit. So I don't really care. But Barca fans, Arsenal fans, we will be there. We will be there for the hate watch. But yeah, as far as Liverpool goes, the league is absolutely wrapped up almost. I don't want to freaking jinx it because you know what? It's Liverpool and anything can happen in the title race. But 15 points surely is too big of a margin, and Arsenal are not good. Let's just be honest. They can shove the PGMOL and this and that injuries up their fucking, whoops, I swore. But anyway, up their rear ends, and yup, that's all there is to it. So yeah, EFL Cup coming up and Premier League trophy coming up, hopefully. And when that happens, just best believe Liverpool fans are going to be unbearable. And I've been seeing a lot of, no competition, Premier League and this and that. You know what? I'm going to save this for another video. But yeah, Diaz, bum. Núñez, bum. Robertson, bum. Jota, absolute bum. And that's all there is to it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you today. I will see you next time. Bye bye.